Hey guys, welcome back to Blue Jay Acres. This is Saturday night and we have done a little bit of a property tour earlier today, which you guys should have already seen in a video. Prior to that though, I did a shopping haul at Home Depot and TSC for some items I just needed kind of around the homestead to keep us moving forward. I'm gonna go ahead and test out one of those products, which is the string trimmer. So I have a big section along the ditch that I need to get cleared out so I can dig out some of that soil for some of the raised beds. So everything's kind of like a domino effect around here. All right, so a couple things. First of all, I'm not sponsored, bought this myself. On sale, $249 down to $199. What makes this one a little bit different is this is a 4-cycle, and you know, I'll be honest with you, I had to look up what the difference really was. So the 4-cycle does use straight gasoline versus like my old one used a 40-to-1 ratio. I think a lot of the new ones use a 50-to-1 ratio of oil to fuel mix, and this one is straight gas with an oil reservoir, so a lot like your push mowers and your chainsaws, the oil and gas go in separately. So that is the first thing about this that is going to be really different. I feel like the shaft might be just a hair bit shorter than what it is on my Craftsman that I had for so long. But it might just be the way the handle grips are laid out, because that is a little bit different on this model. I do like the fact this has the extension on it, so basically I can pop that last section off and replace it with another instrument. Like when I go to do the raised beds next year and mix in the amendments, that will be good because I can get a small tiller attachment that goes on the end, and I can till those raised beds without having to worry about what I'm going to do that with. So some good things there. It is a little heavier than my last one was, but I think I can get used to that. So yeah, I think the big thing for me is this one should have more power. So it has as much power as my old brush cutter had, which had the really long head and the blades. So this is a 30cc versus a 25cc on the small ones. I think it's going to be more than what I need. I'm a little concerned actually if I'm working around like my wooden fence or some of my other stuff that I might strip it a little bit, strip the fence posts and such. So I may stick with the string trimmers that I have that are battery powered up near the fence and the kind of the sensitive stuff, and keep this for like the back wooded area, brushed area along the barn where it's all metal, and I don't have to worry about the string basically cutting into whatever I'm cutting up against. So with that said, I think the next thing to do is I've already put the oil in it. I need to fill this with gas, and then I'm going to take this up along the ditch line and get that ditch line trimmed out so that I can do some other jobs, because I've basically got a day and a half, not even a day and a half, probably a day and a third, day and a quarter. So I've probably got about a day and a quarter to actually get most of the things done before I have to head back to work on Monday. And the weather is going to be really cooperative, so I'll get a little bit done tonight, but then tomorrow it'll be full steam ahead, pretty much non-stop, and I will catch as much of what I'm doing for you as I can as we kind of go through this. So yeah, let's get this thing filled with some gasoline and get it fired up and take it for a test drive.
you said hi, 'cause I was way too shy. What would have happened if you just had passed me by the night? We keep on drinking, keep on wishing for someone out there to hold all those little moments.
Well guys, I have to tell you, oh, I take these out. That took like no time at all. I don't know how much it was, but I think maybe 24, 25 minutes. And I did that whole bank side, half this bank side really. I got the upper half to do. So pros and cons. String trimmer is heavier, so I don't know that the kids or Noelle would use it because on my right arm, it's got the larger motor and it is heavier, so that's a little bit more. Pros, I will say this thing is relatively quiet. I was very surprised how quiet it was. I had my earbuds in, but I didn't have any music on, and it was pretty quiet. And it didn't have a lot of vibration, which is also good. One of the things I haven't gotten used to in this little section as I started is there is a slight angle, I think, to the head on this one. And I'm so used to, my old one was literally perfectly flat. This one's got just a slight tilt to it, I think, so I've been having to compensate where I've been so used to tilting it. Now I don't have to do that. But yeah, it used about, in 20 or so minutes, going on 25 minutes, it used a little bit less than about half a tank of gas. And I don't know what the capacity is on it off the top of my head, but you know, I didn't put hardly anything in it. You know, so really happy. I think overall, at least for the initial start, this gets a gold star for.
Okay, now as far as bread goes, this is what I have found to be the closest to like a store-bought soft white bread, which is what we like. Now, I'm gonna use milk, and I'm gonna use egg, and I'm gonna use butter, but you don't have to. It still will turn out really good if all you use is water, or if you just use oil and no butter, and you don't have to add an egg. That's just those, I think it takes it to the next level, but it's still a really good sandwich bread, even if you don't have all of that. So let me go on and show you what I do, the way I make it, and then next week I'll make it without the fanciness. I try to make it on Sunday or Monday, and it is now Tuesday, so I am not making my bread on the right day, but Sunday I will make more bread and I will share it with you and show you the difference making it without the egg and the milk. But here's what you need. All right, I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. I have not filmed in forever, and I do not know where my tripod clip is, so I'm gonna be doing this while I'm holding the camera, which makes it a little bit difficult and not as good. But in this little Pyrex cup here, I have 2 cups. I have 1 cup of water and 1 cup of, I use whole milk because that's just what we have. I'm gonna put this in the microwave for a minute, and I'm gonna see if it is warm. You want it warm, more than lukewarm. You want it a little bit on the warm side, but not hot. If it's hot, it's gonna kill your yeast. If it is warm, then the yeast is just gonna have a bubble bath and love it and get all bubbly and beautiful. All right, so 1 minute was about the perfect temperature in my microwave. So all I'm gonna do now is just pour that in here. Okay, and to that I'm gonna add some sugar, about a tablespoon of sugar. That's just gonna feed the yeast. Then I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of yeast. And now I'm just gonna let this sit and get all bubbly for about 5 minutes. All right, now that it is all bubbly, I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. I have 1 beaten egg. A couple tablespoons of melted butter. Then I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Now, a while while that's stirring up, I'm going to add my flour. I'm going to add about 4.5 cups. So there's 1. Okay, so after 4.5, it is still looking pretty flat or soupy. So I'm going to go on and add 1 more cup of flour. And we'll mix that in and see how that is. So what I've found, sorry, I know that's loud, but what I've found to be the secret to that doughy, really soft, like butternut bread that you get at the store is to leave your dough sticky. So a lot of times you say you don't want it sticky, you want to punch your finger in and it should kind of bounce back a little bit and not be dry but not be sticky. I actually find that letting it be sticky is the key to it being really soft. So it's going to stick to your fingers when you're trying to roll it and form it into your loaves, but then it will rise and it will be this really soft bread on the inside. So I started with 4.5 cups of flour, and it varies each time how much I use because it depends on, because I'm not measuring. Did I get a little more oil in? Did I get a little more butter in? If I did, then I'm gonna need a little bit more flour. So I ended up using in this batch 6.5, but that's the consistency that you want. So you can see it is sticking here, but it is definitely a sticky dough. And that's what I want. So now I just have this sitting up here on the stove. I'm gonna cover it and let it sit for about an hour till it's really doubled in size. Kick, kick, kick.
How much time to go to?
Good job. Oh, look at you. Can you swim with your head underwater?
Nah.
Nah.
I don't think I can. We had a scuba master. I'm afraid not.
Oh. You're such a good swimmer.
Ta-da!
Beautiful!
You know, goodbye.
Okay, so now I'm going to spray my loaf pans. This makes 2 loaves. And let's check. It is definitely big and poofy. We're just going to punch that down and divide this into 2. Okay. It is very sticky, but you're just going to try and roll it the best you can into 2 loaves. Then we're going to cover that and let these rise for an hour until they're double. Okay, I set my oven to 375. It's warming up now. And this is big and fluffy and beautiful. I just have 1 egg that I beat here. And I'm just going to brush the tops with some of this egg wash gently and just cover them. And then I'm going to put them in the oven for 40 minutes. Alright, so here they are. They're ready to go into the oven, and I'll show you in 40 minutes. The bread is done. I will show you in about an hour after it cools, and I'll cut into it. Okay, so now we're going to cut the bread, and I am using this electric bread cutter. We ended up investing in that when we started making a bunch of our own bread, because it cuts way thinner slices. You can get really, really thin slices with it that way. But I'm gonna go on and show it to you. And there it is. Slice it thin. You can even slice it thinner. It's still a tad bit warm. And it makes the best bread. It folds, it just like sandwich bread. All right, I hope you guys give that recipe a try. Let me know if you do give it a try. And we're gonna go eat some. Usually when I make it, one loaf is gone like instantly and the other one is ready for the next day for sandwiches. There's a rainbow. It was so much brighter just a few seconds ago, but I went looking for the camera to share it with you guys. It was so beautiful. All right, I'm gonna go on and just wrap that up today because we are just dealing with some things here at home, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye everybody, thank you so much for watching.